We'll call this meeting of the Legislative Committee to order, 5:30, March 9th, 2026. Commissioner Harris, would you give our invocation?
Sure. Heavenly Father, Lord, we just come to you, Lord, give you all the praise, honor, and glory, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for this day and your many blessings that you bestowed on us, this county. Pray, Heavenly Father, Lord, that you just be with us during this meeting, Lord. Help us do the things, Lord, that are pleasing unto you, Lord. These things we ask and pray in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you. Before we approve the agenda, we've got item 10 have been advised that we're going to remove that with no objections. County attorney and the sheriff have got a little something extra sort of worked out, so we're just going to remove that unless there's any objection to that. Also, need to add under new business item H. There's an email here that Commissioner Ring.
Item I.
I'm sorry. Yeah, item I think I said under H yet. Item I to do another recognition for Mr. Johnny Anderson. So we'll add that under I with those additions and corrections. Is there a
Motion to approve as amended.
All right.
Second.
So, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the minutes from last meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Recognition of the public. We have one signed up to speak, Mr. David Klein.
David Klein, 398 Branham Mill Road, Gallatin, Tennessee. Mr. Chairman, thank you, committee. I want to encourage you to, on old business 8B, the annexation resolution. I was pretty surprised at our last commission meeting when we sent it back. This is one of the few opportunities we, as the county commission, has to control growth or expenditures for new schools and things like that in the county. So I would strongly encourage it passes so it can go on to commission and hopefully be approved. And then item 9F, the county's opposition to SB 2237 and HB 2552. As the chairman of the Planning Commission, and I work very closely with the Planning and Engineering Department, this would really upset the apple cart. To allow projects to be approved if they haven't been touched within 30 days is incredibly tight timing. And I mean, we know that Planning Commission, County Commission are committees. We only get together once a month, so if we don't address it immediately, I can see the committees having meetings, special called meetings. I can see the Planning Commission having special called meetings, the Commission having special called meetings, the staff in Planning and Engineering working overtime or hiring several more people just to have on staff so that we can do our due diligence on these new projects. And I would strongly encourage you to deny or approve the annexation resolution because it is anti this law. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, under report of the chair, just to correct the record, this under old business, under item B that the Commissioner Klein just referenced, we actually did not send it back. This actually was docketed for this committee at the last meeting, and it failed to be added to the agenda. So just to make sure that everybody understands. All right, outside of that, that's my report of the county mayor.
No report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Old business, item 8A, the City of Gallatin, MOA. This has been back and forth here before. I think they're asking for some space for some servers. And I think they were asking for 2 racks, which was a small area for these couple of servers. We've addressed this before. What's the, yes? Mr.
I believe it got kicked back from commission specifically for questions that were asked there
Right.
about locations,
Yes.
alternate locations,
Yes.
things of that, so
Yes.
I think that's why it's here.
Go ahead.
I think it also there was questions about like a length of usage or whatnot.
Yes, length of the lease, yes. Mr. Mayor, I think you have
Yeah,
a date.
it's going to be housed down at the EOC, so, with the other servers, so it's going to be in that space. There's plenty of room for it, won't impede with any of the other operations. It could be up to 2 years while they build out a space, but again, it's not impeding on any of our operations. So,
Thank you for that. Yes, sir.
Motion approved.
Second.
Any discussion?
I'll make one note. I have been hard on this one. Part of me wants to be a pain just because I believe that the city of Gallatin has not operated in good faith on a couple of occasions. However, this is one of it's not a big deal, and it's for the good of the people, so I'm going to vote for it.
Thank you for
Good
that.
question.
Yes, sir.
What's the, like, if there's issues with their servers or whatnot, let's say at nighttime or whatnot, who is expected to be,
Good question.
able to let them into the building and take care of their issues? How's that gonna work out?
they'll work with our team on that. Yeah, I mean, we've got 24-hour operations over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, they would work with our team.
Okay.
If there was some type of emergency.
All right, thank you.
Any more discussion?
Mr. Chairman, if I can.
Yes.
Is that the EOC or EMS, Mayor? Sorry, Chairman.
Well, I just put it all in
That
one,
one
but
area.
it's that hardened facility where the server room is.
Gotcha.
Good question. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is the annexation resolution
Motion
that
to
was
approve.
docketed.
Second.
Any discussion for this?
I mean, I'll make one comment. I've been for this from its inception, and actually for a law similar to this. I've argued from the get-go that the county does not, when it comes to annexation, the county has an interest in a potential burden, but does not have a say in the annexation process. I think this does moves the ball forward to try to do this. I spoke with Mr. Lamberth at the state about it 2 years ago. I'm glad to see it moving forward. I hope that we can support this. So I will be supporting
Mr. Harris and then Mr. Rogers.
Ask you a real stupid question here. If somebody wants their property annexed, why is it our right to tell them that they can't have it annexed?
it. If somebody, I'll answer. Can I answer?
Because
Sure.
90% of the time, these people are asking the city of Gallatin, let's just take Gallatin for instance, they're asking to be annexed in.
That's right.
Actually, 100% of the time.
Yeah, well, 100% of the time.
Yeah.
And so I get
Cities
that,
can't annex.
I get that argument, and it's a fair argument. But I think it's a similar argument to if I have, when you purchase property, you purchase it under the auspices of the title and deed that you have when you purchase it. So you don't have guarantees for anything beyond that. If I've purchased farmland, then I have purchased farmland under the auspices of a title that is zoned for rural, maybe rural residential. And I realize this is slightly different here, but it's a similar thing, right? When you purchase something, you inherit on that title all of the riders on that title. And one of those riders is whether it is inside or outside of the city limits. So to answer your question, I don't think a person has a right to inherently to change that title without a request. And if they did have a request, then they wouldn't need, if they did have that right, then they wouldn't need to ask the city to be annexed at all. They could just say, hey, I'm in that city. So when a large tract is annexed by the city and then used for a development in practice, what we have is continued urban sprawl. And the county bears the cost of that in two ways. One, we bear the cost of it for the increased pressure on our school system. And two, we bear the cost of roads, ingress, egress. Not to mention the second and third order costs around emergency services and all the things that we do here. So my point here is that I'm not saying we wouldn't approve it. I might approve some. I'm just saying that we as a body, and particularly as the budget committee chairman, what I see is a scenario in which I'm on the hook for potential, long-term changes to spending, and I don't have any seat at the table for whether it happens. That's my answer.
What if they're wanting to be annexed due to industrial use rather than residential use?
Again, I might be for it. I might be for the annexation. I'm just saying we need a say. I'm just saying we need a say. I would tell you for an industrial purchase, I would almost certainly, me personally, I would almost certainly go for it, assuming it made sense, right? I mean, you wouldn't want to put a landfill, by a residential area. I'm not saying I would be against it. I'm just saying that's what this does. We're not saying that we would be against something. We're just saying that, like, hey, we deserve a seat at the table.
Commissioner Rogers, you were next.
Mr. Chairman, has legal looked at this to see if it's any more than what's coming out of the state? Or can we set a resolution that's more than what's coming out of the state? Or how does that need to work?
We've tackled this once before, and it always came up to the same conclusion. It was even trying to make it a rider on that Gallatin resolution we tried to pass a few months ago. So we don't have a dog in this fight right now. So you could set up a separate resolution that I think the intent of this is to cooperate and be a part of something the state's doing versus us trying to push an agenda up there that nobody's going to support. I don't know if that answered your question or not, but as of now, we just don't have a dog in the fight.
So I guess procedurally then, would we be premature in passing a resolution that doesn't even have a bill to ride with at the state? Not knowing if we're more egregious than the bill that comes out of the state, because we can't do that anyway, right? And I'm just asking questions.
I'm going to get a QA. Well, she's going next.
Yeah, have you spoken with anyone in the state delegation to see where this is in the
I spoke with
process?
Representative Lambert, Leader Lambert, back, gosh, I don't know, 6 weeks ago about it.
Mhm.
And it was just, it hadn't even gotten out of committee at that point. I think it's progressing through. My question was, first of all, cities can't just go out and force annex. They can't do that already. So that part's not happening. An individual has to request to be annexed in for whatever, whether it be for city services, sewer, whatever. So if they ask the city, let's just use Gallatin since it was brought up, they ask the city of Gallatin to come and be annexed because they want city water or city gas, sewer, what have you. Gallatin says yes. And then we come and we say, no, we're gonna hold you hostage and keep you from getting me. How is that benefit? They're still paying county taxes, they just be paying city taxes. How is that helping anything? I don't see how that benefits at all. I'm gonna let Jerry and then I'll let you.
So this is gonna be really, I think you said stupid question, this is a stupid question. So, in this scenario, so there's someone in the county, and they go to, we're using Gallatin, they go to Gallatin and ask for annexation. What? Again, stupid question. Reading through these whereas, how does that increase the financial burden on the county? Because in my simple mind is now sort of to your point, they're already paying county taxes, they're gonna still pay county taxes. Now they would have to pay city taxes too.
I'm gonna,
And so I'm just, my brain's a little slow right now.
One
can answer
house,
both
one
of those.
house turns into 150
you
houses.
got it right there. So let's talk about this in a realistic.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk
Yes,
about
yes,
this
yes,
in a
yes, yes. I
realistic
got you.
scenario. Here's
I
what
got you.
really happens. I've got 100 acres.
Yeah.
And 2 houses on it, on the outskirts of Gallatin or Hendersonville or wherever.
I got you.
And I want to be annexed in, because once I'm annexed in, that is more, I can demand a higher price on the market from a developer, and the developer doesn't want to have that property until it's already annexed in. So once you're annexed in, now we're gonna put, you know, two in the county, you know, 2.7 acre minimum, although that is outside the urban growth boundary, but let's say, you know, 2 acre minimum, and inside the city now, all of a sudden maybe it's a half acre minimum. So now we're annexed in the city, and on that 100 acres, instead of having one property, you have 200.
I got you.
And so, well, I'm gonna go play
Go
it out
ahead,
even
go
further,
ahead, yeah.
because I want to answer this question here. Now I've got 200 now I've got 200 people, or 200 houses, and 200 houses times an average of 2 people per house, 2 students per house. There's 400 people, 400 students. Average cost of a student is about $12,000, of which we pay, and I'm just throwing these out there, but this is about right, we pay about half, roughly. The state pays another half. So 4,000 times 12,000 divided by 2, 4,000, 10, 48, so 24,000. 200 and, yeah, so now I'm getting myself mixed up, but anyway, I think it's about $240,000 extra. That, we know that is, and on those houses, we'll get, you know, maybe an extra 1,800 per on property tax, right? So we all know that for the county, on a rooftop, it's a losing proposition. And so we don't have any check or balance on that. So what you could do in a scenario like this is to say, hey, happy to let you annex, but it has to be we're gonna have an MOU, City of Gallatin, so that we can only support so much. That's what you could have if you have a dog in the fight.
So I'm gonna interrupt. Was anybody in the queue?
Now go ahead.
I was at the meeting at the,
My apologies.
That's okay.
so I was at the meeting, and it was the smaller counties that wanted this. And they were small counties, Campbell, Moore, White, that they wanted this, not the larger counties, not Knox, Robertson County, and because I consider them a large county. But I think this creates larger government, it's less local control. And I also have an issue, and I had an issue with it at the meeting, that because if people want their property annexed in, it's another layer of bureaucracy where we say, well, the county then says, well, no, that the elected municipality isn't smart enough to know what to do. Also, the schools get 50% of every retail sales tax dollar that goes to them from the city. And then our student growth rate has been flat. And a year ago, Josh Suddeth told me, our former planning director, that the median age coming in and buying into this county are retirement. They're 45 and up. They're not families with young children, because families with young children can't afford to live in Sumner County. And that has borne true with my children have not been able to purchase homes in Sumner County. They've gone outside the county to purchase. So, and until the state rules on this, I don't know, outside of the citizens here calling, I don't know that it would matter what our commission passed as a resolution. So those are just my thoughts. And I appreciate what you're saying, But as the cities annex, the cities then provide fire service out of those cities' fire tax dollars. That is almost a benefit to our volunteer fire service. That the cities will then take over that because our EMS is already out all over the county. And those are just my feelings on that.
For one, I need to correct something. I was off by a factor of 10. The calculation was 2.4 million. But that, you know, we could go back and forth on that. My point here, and I do want to respond to this because my point is not an annexation may make sense. It may very well make sense, and that is a fair point, right? Like we are also I've been a proponent of putting a referendum onto the ballot to discuss to get guidance on a fire tax. I totally get that argument, and then I understand also the argument. Hey, what about a commercial development? What about an industrial development? There are all of these different what ifs that we could play out, and in many cases, maybe most of them, it does indeed make sense. I just don't. I will. What I know is that I have for 3 years and about to do it for a 4th year, sat in budget meetings in which we say over and over and over and over we are strained on services because of growth. And we don't have any, here is a way for us to at least put our ability to throttle that growth. I'm not saying no all the time, but we talk about smart growth. We don't even have a say in it. So and my position on the budget, having done that for many years, and a few years, not many years, I can't in good faith ever take. We're here to look at the interests of the county. If I were in the city or the city of Gallatin, I might very well be against this, but I'm representing the pocketbook of the county.
And the funding for the schools right now, though, is the money follows the student. So when you're talking about funding the schools, one of the bills that they have at the legislature right now that we went through in governmental affairs is that we will be allowing out-of-county children to come into our schools. So that money will follow that student. I don't think the state pays more than $6,000 a student. It's more like $7,500. I'm not trying to.
Let's do a quick math.
Just to help me understand the process. Bless you. Of a property owner coming to ask for annexation. In those cases, is it in the scenario that you mentioned, which I get it, and so I appreciate that. But when they come in and make that request, I mean, are those details even known at that time?
Well,
I mean, if they're
I'm
not,
sure they're known to somebody.
Well, but I mean, so if a property owner goes to the city of Gallatin again, and I've got 100 acres, annex it. I mean, unless we're going to go off of Joe and so and so said, this is going to be a development. I mean, then we would end up potentially be ruling something for just
ask
rumors.
the person.
Yeah, well, I mean,
That works out well.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I'm just trying to grasp this all the different scenarios, and so to answer my question, it sounds like that's not. Is it the majority time? It's probably not even ironed out or even mentioned or included, if anyone knows. But I don't know.
Commissioner Rocket?
Well, we've got a real estate agent sitting right here. He could probably say that, I would venture to say that if I'm working a deal on some property somewhere, I'm not going to go to the county building and tell them it's for a 300 house. I want you to annex in. I would probably be annexed in prior to, and then make the development once it's inside the property.
We put this in place.
The thing that we run into though is then we're adding more and more layers of government. Mm-hmm. And my concern here is, and I guess I've got a question for legal. the way the law is and the way that somebody says they want us to annex their property inside of the city limits, well, if we start putting these, we always hear about land users' rights, and we'll talk about that a little later. If we start talking about restrictions on landowners' rights and homeowners' rights and all that stuff, and they followed the questions and come and said, hey, I want to be annexed into this municipality, it's great. And then we say, well, you can't do it because our school don't have enough room to hold 4 more kids. Then where does that put the county as far as liability? They've got landowners' rights. They want to be annexed inside the city, but the county's telling them no. Where does that leave us?
That's a hypothetical that, well, I don't even think.
Well, the lawyers has got a glass ball. We can interpret. It only takes an 8th grade education to do that.
And everything I tell you will be 100% accurate.
Sure.
But you've got so many hurdles to get over just to be able to have the ability to say that scenario you just said. So we're talking about years and years down the road to get the state to even agree on allowing us to participate in this. So if it were to get that far, you're ripe for challenges on property owner rights.
I think that's where we're headed. As a commissioner, I can't support it for that very reason. We're trying to talk about all the good things that we're doing and all the landowners' rights and all that stuff, and we're going to back ourselves in a corner with a lawsuit quicker than we know what we're doing. So I'll vote no.
And I think it's also an issue of trusting in municipalities. They're elected by,
That works well too.
they're elected by the representation of their own
Let's
cities.
just have fun with all of it.
And, in Hendersonville just denied an annexation request not very long ago on Avon Lane. And I know about it because I got phone calls from the realtor, and it's not even in my district, and the property owner wanting to know how he could make that happen. And I told him, I said, well, I'm a county commissioner, sir, I can't really help you with this. But I did put him in touch with his county commissioner. But the story was that was his, it was a 100-year-old farm, and he was ready to sell, and he wanted to retire, and he wanted to get the most money he could get for his property.
That's right.
And to prove, but
That's it.
that was his right
It's
as
his-
an owner. It's his right to ask.
It's his right to ask.
It's his right to ask.
It's his right
That
to
is the law.
ask.
It is his right to ask.
It's his right to ask. But you own a piece of property under the auspices in which you inherited it or purchased it. I can't go and put,
Until it's your property.
I mean, I
Until
own
it's something
property,
you want.
but I see this I'm not arguing, right now, I am arguing from the position of a county commissioner who is here looking out for the interests of all the taxpayers, not one who happens to want to be able to maximize their profit. Everybody, not one.
I'll make one comment, and I'll let Commissioner Rogers in the queue. Everybody sitting at this table is living on a piece of property that was subdivided at one time.
Yeah.
In fact, everybody on this planet.
I'm saying it wasn't.
So,
Call the question.
Question's been called for. Any more discussion?
Well, he's called the question,
Yeah.
so we either need to vote
Well,
on
I mean,
it.
it may be a moot point if there's no more discussion. Okay, we'll call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is this the call?
No, this is not on the question. We didn't get a second anyway, so.
I got you.
Well,
this
I
is
mean, I'll
on-
second.
You seconded the
I'll
call for the
second.
question?
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay, this is voting on the question.
Hurt my feelings.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, now, on the main vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No, sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
we do it again.
All right, we got one,
I'll give it an aye.
No.
two. Any opposed? No.
No.
5-2.
Madam Clerk, did you get that I was a no?
I heard him say yes.
I withdrew it, Mr. Chairman. You reserve your
All
spot here.
right, motion fails. Now, on to new business, veteran service report.
The first 3 items on our report kind of capture some of the same kind of good news. We've been catching a lot of errors coming through the VA lately. But I want to call your attention to the 4th paragraph. This is helping veterans track down their discharge documents or helping their next of kin. We've been helping a lot of funeral homes The total number last month was 46 requests for discharge documents. That's more than 2 a day that we handled last month. And a lot of them were for deceased veterans, and we're helping them to try and get their flag for their funeral, et cetera. And I'm just pointing out that there's much more than helping out with revenue generating type stuff that we do, like through the VA. We're also helping out quite a bit with getting people to just get their discharge documents. Just also renewing the request for our part-timer as we go into the budget season, and pointing out that since we got our part-timer last time, we increased VA revenue into the county by $23 billion. That's 23 with a B. So please give us a part-timer. We can keep on working.
$23 billion?
Since we got our part-timer approved 2 years ago. 23 billion increase. That's VA revenue through our healthcare organizations, through our veterans. 23 billion. And one last note, when I wrote this report,
Are you gonna ask for her a raise or him a raise?
no, we want to get a little extra help. I wasn't aware that we were initiating combat operations when I wrote this report. Just want to remind everybody that now we have a lot of folks, troops that are over there deployed. Please wear red on Friday to remember your veterans. That's a VFW thing, to remember everyone deployed. Please wear red on Friday.
Is that every Friday?
Every Friday.
Oh,
But
and then-
particularly now that we got folks out there.
And I would like to say, for the record, at my cemetery, the widows of the veterans think that you are fabulous. They love Jeff Oakey at the Sumner County Veterans. He has helped with forms, paperwork, monuments, etc. And it really means a lot to our veterans' wives, spouses.
Appreciate it.
So I just wanted to say that for the record.
It's a pleasure to serve.
Thank you.
Well done, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Item B, the Hendersonville Adequate Facilities Tax, Mr. Sippel.
Yes, sir. This committee has sent me back and forth with the city of Hendersonville over some adequate facility taxes. At the time, I believe we had a claim of unpaid amount of $278,748.00 in adequate facilities tax, which the city's supposed to direct over here. We have members from that department to speak in more detail on this, but from the collection standpoint, I've reached out with the city. I've provided you with copies of our correspondence to them, rebuttal correspondence, and then I have been advised that one did pay, but we've got some revised numbers on what's owed, but it's not significantly different. So basically, I am reporting to you the status of the AFT for this committee and the commission to make a decision on how they'd like to proceed. But please welcome any further detailed questions to codes.
Before we, Commissioner Rogers.
I was just gonna make a motion, at least get it on the table for him to go forward.
Second.
We've got a motion on the floor. Do you want to hear?
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules. I mean,
Yeah, I was gonna suspend it without objection.
Oh, okay,
but
that's fine.
We've got a motion on the floor. We'll leave this motion where it's at. We'll suspend the rules.
That's fine.
To hear from Marshall or his staff.
Chairman Harris.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Legislation, this is Katie Schaefer. She is a Sumner County AFT coordinator. She's here to help answer any questions.
Okay.
The way I collected the data for anyone, every month Hendersonville sends us a permit report. So I went through, collected all of the commercial permits on that report, calculated what we hadn't been paid since February of 2024, and then they sent us permits, so we cross-referenced for permits that didn't actually require an adequate facilities tax and removed that from the total. So the total now that's in your packet is the actual amount that they still owe us.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, I think it would help if could you explain what the city should have done versus
Yes,
what has
that's what
led
I-
us
that's
to
actually what I
this?
was gonna ask.
Yes, so every time a city issues a building permit for a new residential build, they need to send the contractors or the builders, the homeowners, to us to pay their adequate facilities tax. They shouldn't be issuing a building permit without that adequate facilities tax receipt from the county. And so since February 2024, when they were sent a letter to inform them on that. They hadn't been paying them still, so they were issuing building permits without that piece that needs to be in their permit packet.
And then
How
once
much
you,
we miss?
About 300, the numbers on that.
Yeah, I just
So-
wanted for the video.
so,
300, something thousand, sorry, I don't remember the
No, it's
number
okay.
off the
In
top of my
excess
head.
of 300,000?
In excess of 300,000.
Actually, it's commercial, not residential.
And commercial, sorry, yes.
Yes.
They pay for residential and commercial bills. They've done their residential, but not their commercial. Sorry, yes. So they're commercial buildings.
325, 40720?
That's the one.
so explain that again. So we informed them in February of '24
Yes.
that they hadn't been doing it, and they continued to just not do it? Is that what I heard?
In 2024, they were sent a letter from the building code department informing them that they need to be paying adequate facilities tax to the county for residential and industrial builds. And in the letter stated industrial and commercial are one and the same. But they started sending people for residential builds, but not the commercial builds. So all that money is from new commercial buildings that were put up and not collected in adequate facilities.
And if I made and that's at the same time that the county mandated that any unpaid fees would be the city's responsibility, is that correct?
It was the same time when the county commissioners interpreted the resolution as the cities should be paying for commercial. Up till then, they haven't been, no city was. That was a couple of years ago. But the other 6 cities complied. It was just the city of Hendersonville that we never required anybody to come over.
What's their argument?
That they weren't made aware that they owed adequate facilities tax for commercial buildings. But in the letter that was originally sent to them, the first letter they sent, they stated they weren't aware that they were officially aware in February 2024 is when they actually understood, but still since then they hadn't been paying.
Does this amount account for the time since we have a paper trail that we can prove, or does this go back to before that?
This goes
is
back when we sent out the
documented.
certified
Okay.
mail immediately after the county commissioners.
Well, go ahead. I was just gonna ask what our
Like,
options
how
are.
long have they, before 2024, how long were they just not paying? They've never?
No one was paying
Yeah.
for
Yeah, we
commercial
changed.
up until then.
Oh, okay, so no one was paying, but
Yeah.
Hendersonville wasn't even paying for residential, that's what I heard.
No, but they were paying for residential.
Oh, they were paying for residential,
Yeah,
okay.
it wasn't
So
paying
it's
for-
only the commercial that's in question, and it didn't start until February 24.
Yes.
We told them that it started, and they haven't paid for it yet.
Yeah.
And all the other cities have paid. The only city remaining is Hendersonville. Okay, all right.
To
Thank
be
you.
clear, so has the city of Hendersonville collected these monies and kept them? Or they have not, no one has collected these monies, we have to go back to the builders and collect these monies?
Well, we're not required to go to the builders according to the resolution. It's the city municipality.
So
that's
they have,
required to-
because they broke the link in the chain, they didn't say, go to the county and pay your taxes. Therefore, it's on them to reimburse us for those taxes,
That's
according
part
to
of the
this
language of the
Yeah,
resolution.
yes, okay.
So
I
what
wanted
are,
to be clear.
what are our
Thank you.
options?
Hold on, we're still out.
Still out of session.
So the rules are suspended, so that's just for them.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Any other questions? Yes.
So have we informed them again since February 2024 that, hey, you're still not paying these?
Yes, they've been informed twice.
Yeah, that's in the
Okay,
packet.
okay, so they're fully aware that they're not paying it? Okay,
Yeah, there's our demand and then there's a rebuttal in the packet.
okay,
Certified letters were sent to all the county mayors and the legal departments. So every city got at least 2 certified mails of notification initially back in 2020.
There's one on February 15th, 24, looks like there was one on December 5th, 25 from the law office here, so, yeah. Certified mail.
There's a rebuttal from them back on page 29 from February 23rd, 2026. So they've at least not acknowledged. All right, then.
questions? Thank you all.
Thank you.
We'll bring it back under rules. There's a motion second on the floor.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Is there, so, Mr. Sittler, if I may ask you, on page 29, it was the document that Commissioner Rogers just referenced. So February 23rd, so like, 2-3 weeks ago. They're asking us which items and for what amounts have been paid to date. Is there a response to that?
No, and there's only been one that's been paid to date that I'm aware of, so, there has not been a response to this letter, but that does not mean there has not been communication between me and the city attorney during this time.
In your opinion, do you think they're in the process of trying to pay this or not?
Personally,
Correct.
I do not think they want to pay this.
Okay.
2 years.
Well, I mean, this email from 2 weeks ago,
This was after lengthy
Yeah,
conversations,
but
they
this-
finally got it to their budget and,
yeah, these two questions sort of lead me to believe that they're at least looking into paying it.
well, if you'd like me to respond, I mean, I'll do whatever you all instruct me.
What's, Mr. Chairman, what's the,
But I
What's
will
the
say
goal of
this,
this?
if I may, their position has essentially been, in my conversations, is that it didn't get paid by the contractor and that the county needs to go get their money. In direct opposition of what the resolution was.
What are our options?
yeah, that's,
Well, you go after the city.
A
I
lot
mean,
of money.
What, is it a lawsuit? I mean, what, if you could lay out like from, a nice nudge on the shoulder to.
I can respond to this letter, I could, see if they wanna do a joint meeting, I can do any number of things you would like to do. I think you're asking me what's worst case scenario, it would be a lawsuit, yes. I believe these are valid debts.
I'll make a motion because I don't think we should jump to that.
Well, we got a motion on the floor.
What is the motion?
What is the motion?
For the law office to go forward, and then, of course, we can make an
What?
amendment.
There were, yeah.
Well, we would go forward and try to regain the money, but the way is up to an
So I
amendment.
will make an amendment to give some detail on that, because I don't want to just escalate right to a law.
I just got it on the floor so we can talk about it.
I don't want to escalate right to a suit, but, and that would be to direct our law director to send a note to the city requesting a representative to present themselves to, I think budget is probably the right one, in order to discuss collection and any rationale or any kind of timeline that they might need. That's my.
I would ask that maybe you modify it a little bit so that we respond to their questions here, and I'll just make it all one big packet, because there are new numbers now. That number
That's
has
fine.
gone up.
But
In your
I'd
time.
like to talk to them in the open. Ultimately, that's what I want to
Yeah.
do, is have somebody here to talk to.
Request a representative from the city of
Absolutely.
Nashville to come discuss this.
That's my
innovation.
motion, but that's my amendment, it's not.
That's a second.
come discuss it where?
The budget.
In budget. So
Oh,
we would be-
I heard legislative.
Yeah, now he
Budget.
said budget,
Mm.
but.
I mean, I'm open to being here too,
Yeah,
I think
I think
budget
it needs
is.
to be here first because we hadn't disposed of this.
That's
item.
fine, we can,
Yeah.
and I'll,
And-
without, if the second's good with it, we can do it here first.
And then specifically the April 2026 legislative committee meeting.
Correct. Is the second good with that?
Yeah. Now, let me ask you a question, in your, well, that's on the main. Any discussion to this amendment, to request the city of Hendersonville send a representative to the legislative committee in April to discuss this item openly and transparently?
But that also includes, I would like them to respond to this, respond to the letter,
Yeah,
you know.
okay.
Yeah, when he
Yeah.
made that comment, that was
Yeah.
inherent in mine.
So, all right, then let me ask this question. Would that be a demand letter?
It'll just be a response letter. I won't be that direct.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where I was kind of.
That was not what I wanted.
Yeah.
That was not
Unless
my
you
intent.
want me to.
No,
No,
that
not, I
that was
don't
not my
think we're
intent.
quite at that point, but it
Just
may
just
be headed
an
there.
invitation letter, a response and invitation.
Will do.
Any other discussions of the amendment? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Now we're on the main, which is pretty much the same thing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Next is the resolution or the request to recognize linemen as first responders.
So moved.
Got a motion? And a second.
I feel like I'm talking a lot today. I just have a question for the law office. Linemen are in kind of a strange scenario.
Linemen?
Linemen.
Oh, yes, yes.
Linemen, like linemen, not like NFL linemen.
Gotcha.
They're in a little bit of a different category, I think, than your typical, what I think are typically considered kind of first responders who are federal, state, or local officers or actors of a government party. A lineman may be a private entity, so are we able, like, I'm not saying that by the way, I want to just be super clear, I'm not saying that what linemen do isn't hardcore, right? I mean, they're out there in the cold, they're getting it done. This is a question of terminology and of definition. Are we defining something that we can't?
If you'll look on page 146, I had an email response as this was being floated around, and that was one of my very main questions was basically that I commend them for their extraordinary efforts. However, the intent is to formally designate or classify them as first responders that may raise legal and policy considerations depending on how the term is defined in state law. And I do know that first responders have certain designations and certain things they're entitled to in the state because of that nomenclature.
Right.
And this could very well be a legal problem.
So with that in mind, I would like to make, unless somebody else thinks, I'd like to make an amendment, and that is, well, I'd just like to move to defer this and get additional information from our law office to see if this is something we could do. I think there are a lot of questions here we don't have answers to, and you just raised several of them. I would like to defer it.
Second. Any discussion on the deferral? For 1 month?
1 month. I would, maybe, how much time I'd ask the law director, how much time does he need?
Well, we'll defer for 1 month,
1
and then
month.
we can defer it again if we need to.
That's fine.
Put it in old business.
Yeah. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Defer till April. All right. Item D, new business docketing of the Judicial Commissioner's annual
So
report.
moved.
Second.
So moved and second. I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Health and safety standards. Page 153.
I'll make a motion to get it on the floor, Mr. Chairman, before we get to
Second.
you.
This
All right.
is one you may want to suspend the rules on as well if you have any
Sure.
questions for codes.
All right. Without objection, we'll suspend the rules.
Committee, most of y'all probably know, if not all y'all, that health and safety standards are basically enforcing high grass, junk, trash, garbage, dilapidated buildings. And the health and safety standards hasn't been revised in the last 15, 16 years. We figured it was time to do so, everything changing in Sumner County. There's three things that I think that's noteworthy to the committee that is not in the current 9-page health and safety standards that we're enforcing right now, that you'll find in this new document. And the first one is the 911 address update violations. That would be on page 9, item 1. The second one would be shipping container violations. And you you will find that on page 11, item 12. And the third one would be sunsetting the Health and Safety Standard Board and integrating their responsibilities into the Board of Construction Appeals. And you'll find that on page 5. And also, page 19.
What was the shipping thing?
The shipping container violations is on page 11, item 12.
The very bottom.
Did everybody get that, or?
Well, actually, so we're talking about right to part, what's the problem with shipping containers?
We went back to planning for 6 months, went back to planning, we moved it back to planning and commission.
How this all started, Commissioner, is shipping containers been a problem with, trying to enforce and keep them out of the county. Because the regulations right now basically say that you can't have shipping containers in residential. We wanted to bring this to the attention of the commissioners that it's a problem, because people bring shipping containers in and they fill them full of contents and the neighbors call and it's hard to get them back out. So, we thought, well, let's bring this to the commissioners' attention and see what they may want to do with it, if anything. So there was some language put in, and it's very simple, that basically says that shipping containers will be allowed in residential now, but with minimum or no regulations. I think that was a reflection of what come out of the planning committee, that I think there was a consensus, let's go ahead and recommend shipping containers with minimum regulations. So what you'll find there is kind of a reflection of what the planning committee consensus was. So, but those are the two options that we provided right now, is either they'll be allowed per the language that you'll find in this with minimum regulations, or that can be removed and it will just default to what we already have in the current health and safety standards, which would be prohibited in Sumner County residential.
So this allows them, but this line allows them, but being compliant with zoning resolution and all applicable IRC and IBC code requirements.
Footing foundations.
So, yeah, that's good, so it's put it on a foundation somewhere.
It won't have, I'm sorry.
We're just jawing.
Yeah.
The only thing that we'll find that we have in the building codes is structural requirements. We don't have anything on aesthetics. I mean, it can come in as a shipping container and it'll look like a shipping container, and you can have as many as you want as long as you don't exceed the maximum lot coverage of the property.
I'm okay with it. I thank you for that explanation.
Okay.
I just want it noted that I do care about property rights, so.
Well,
I mean,
let's go on down the road a little bit then. So, and Marshall, first of all, I got your email earlier today and I was having trouble sending emails back out, so.
As will we.
I appreciate that. So, and I'm not trying to nitpick or beat a dead horse, but goodness, I've got a lot of heartburn when it comes to looking at this. What is our setbacks on property lines, just a standard setback? Isn't it 5 foot each side till the 10?
Yeah, they wouldn't be allowed in the front yard unless you had lots of acreage.
No, I'm just talking about like on the property lines.
Yeah, it would have to be 5 foot from the rear and 5 foot from the sides.
So I guess I've got questions, and I just want to draw everybody's attention to number 2 on page 9. We're talking about grass and underbrush. We're wanting 5 or 15 foot buffer to be mowed out on the property, when really and truly we're telling them in another part of the county where you only have to have a 5 foot setback. So I'm kind of confused. If you could help me understand the 5 foot setback, but yet we're wanting a 15 foot
I can speak to that, Marshall.
interior mowing.
That's okay with
Around it.
Sure, yeah, the rules are suspended, so.
I'd like to introduce Todd. Todd, come on up.
That's just for farms, not typical residential, but if you have a big, large property, 20 whatever acres, we're just asking if there's residents on each side of you, that you have, I think actually it was 50, and this one, we've kind of reduced it because we're not wanting a farmer out there just cutting, kind of maintaining that, but that's what that's from.
Would it not, and I'm just asking, would it not be better to have it 5 foot? Because if it's a hay field and the farmer's taking 15 foot, that's 30 foot, and then you got 45 foot on each end, that's quite a bit of a field.
So
3 or
right now
4
you're saying
swipes.
it's 50 foot, what we're using right now?
No, I think we've cut it down to like, we're only on the new health and safety resolution, it's 20 foot.
It's 15.
Is it, did we say 50? I think it should have
15,
changed.
15 on page 9.
I think that should have been changed to 20 anyway, because we had BOCO, we talked about it when
It
they
doesn't
reviewed it.
match.
And they figured, hey, about,
Sycamores.
it's X amount, we just asked them to, one lap.
And then we're looking at the other part of it, a farm. Why is a farm considered 15 acres? Why can't we have like a 5 or 10 acre farm that matches with the tax code? So we can at least get in line with that, so we don't have to worry about
I think that's.
exemptions.
Greenbelt. Probably.
Well, I understand, but you can get a tax freeze on 5 acres
Yeah, I get
in the
it.
county. So if that's considered a tax freezable amount, why couldn't we have that same here and it be exempt?
It's probably reflective of what's in the zoning regulations, because we try to match everything where we'd be in unison.
And then-
Marshall, do you have a?
Yeah, I think Marshall's correct. The 15 acres is a greenbelt exemption. And out of the 5 acre, I'm not sure if there's another exemption for that, but our office goes off the 15 acres.
Marshall, is not most of this covered under the property maintenance code?
Well, a lot of jurisdictions have abandoned their health and safety codes and put it on a shelf and just adopted the ICC property maintenance code. The reason we didn't adopt the property maintenance code is about half of it gives the inspectors authority to go inside somebody's home to require updates in the home, whether it be electrical, plumbing, or mold or whatever. I felt like that was too intrusive. I didn't want to do that. So we just decided to modify the health and safety standards what we had on the books. And there's language in here that we will only go in somebody's home if it's considered an emergency, life safety, then we'll go and address it.
Well, is
That's
that
the way
what the property maintenance code does also?
Yes, the property maintenance code is way more intrusive than this.
But you still have to have the permission or a warrant to do that, do you not?
When the property maintenance code, I don't know if you have to have a warrant on it, but we would only do it if it was a life safety issue.
Okay.
So,
I don't go on anybody's property unless they invite me
Or you can see it from the road. How do we get complaints or letters? And so that's another thing too, over on one part, page 18. Do we give copy of the complaints to people? Like with the notice of the violation, do we mail out a complaint to the, for lack of better words, offender?
they'd have to file open records request, and then we would give them that information, whoever was complaining, who would complain.
Why wouldn't we go ahead and supply it at the time we're notifying them of a complaint? I'm just asking, I don't know.
Because most of the time, people ask, that they'll call and complain, and say, but can you keep it confidential? I don't want to get in with my neighbor. We need to we have the responsibility to let them know. We'll do that, but they do have a right to file an open records
Gotcha.
request.
Makes sense.
Any more questions for Marshall or anyone else with code? We'll bring it back on the rules. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir.
All right.
Item is before you.
Motion to approve.
Motion.
Chairman, of course, y'all heard what the questions I asked Marshall. I think it's a little overreach. I don't think it matches all aspects of the county, what we govern with other stuff with. It doesn't make sense that it has to be a 15 acres to be exempt. What if you've got somebody out there with a hobby farm with 10 acres? Then they have to cut 15 foot off of each side. That's their whole field if they're trying to raise some hay. So I can't go with this. It doesn't make any sense.
Anyone else?
And if it makes sense to defer it for a month and somebody come back with some changes,
I've got a laundry list of changes, Mr. Chairman. If we want to go through it, make amendments, or I can try to mark it up and
I'm gonna change my
submit it
motion.
next
I'm gonna
month.
motion to defer. I'm gonna remove mine, make a motion to defer for 1 month.
Is the
That way we don't go through all of them.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
That way
But are
you
you suggesting that maybe Mr. Rogers works with Marshall to?
Yes, anybody's free to bring back. That way we can have a list of changes as opposed to trying to.
That would be a point of information. Do you want it to go back with Mr. Rogers to Board of Construction Appeals, who has been working on this? Should it go back to
Would
committee?
that, would that be helpful, Mr. Rogers, to go back to?
I mean, I don't mind. I could just email it to the chairman and the chairman submit what I email. I don't care. We just all means don't want to get any
I'm not gonna
violations
tell
of
other people
emails
what
or
to do. I'm
sunshine
just gonna
law.
say, let's defer it.
Sounds like you're trying to.
Defer it. No, I only tell property managers, property owners what they can do, right?
Well, it
So,
may make sense to send it back to the board
I'm not gonna tell
from
people,
which it came.
I'm just gonna
We
motion
do
to
that to
defer it for a
committees.
month, and y'all can manage it however y'all want.
I'll mark it up and send it back to Marshall.
Motion to
and
motion to defer.
Motion to defer for 1 month.
We'll work on it.
Second.
All right, any discussion?
Legal's had any issue with that, me working with codes? All right, just making sure.
As long as the deliberation on this is.
No,
here.
never.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right. Moving swiftly along.
Well,
Item F, the resolution.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item G,
Motion to
Jackson
approve.
Law.
Second.
Motion to approve with a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
I had a couple questions on this one. Hold on.
Some of them landowner stuff, you may be careful.
No, so I mean, I would be, I just kind of want to understand what additional impacts there might be to residents based on this. Like, do we have a summary?
Mr. Sibley, you-
There is one in the packet, yes.
Well, I read this summary here. I mean, maybe I missed like a bulletized list, you know, like,
Yeah, there was a slide presentation as part of it as well.
yeah, the slides, but I'm looking for, this is,
I don't know what else.
What are you asking questions about?
what I'm trying to understand is, like, we've got, there,
It keeps Walmart plastic bags out of homeowners' yards because there's no landfills in the county unless.
is that all it does? Is that all it's doing here?
Yeah.
There's no landfill without our approval.
Yeah, county approval required for all new landfills with a
That's it.
very limited exception.
But if like, if somebody wanted to put a compost heap up, they can do that.
That's not a landfill.
That's a health and safety issue that we just deferred for a month.
Yeah.
On 15 acres.
I mean, that's why, like, I'm just asking the question, I mean, because I care about property owners' rights.
That's over here.
Well,
We
is it?
defer.
I mean, I'm asking
It's different.
Well, I have a compost pile.
I'm probably okay with this.
Well, we've already voted on it.
No, we didn't vote.
No, we haven't voted
Call
on
the
it.
question.
Yeah, we did.
This
Well, I
is-
would like to answer though.
This is specifically related to landfill projects. Those are
Yeah.
defined by term and statute.
All right,
Yeah.
so to
This,
answer.
this shifts that burden, or not burden, but the ability for the county to regulate that.
All right.
So it keeps solid waste, you know.
No, I get it, but
Away from coming in and
what counts as a landfill, I guess is my
It's
question.
statutorily provided for.
All right,
building.
we didn't vote, but that's okay.
All right, motion second to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Motion.
Item H, we got a motion.
Second.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Aye. For the recognition, Commissioner Anderson.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh,
Well, we
well
got
done,
question.
yeah, we got
Second.
second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye. Motion to adjourn.
Non-debatable. We're done.
Objection.
All right, 5 minutes and then we'll do the budget.